19 years ago today, a shockwave flew through the nation as Americans watched the horrible terrorist attack of 9/11.
Partying students are putting more students at risk as fraternities and other organizations are under fire for disobeying COVID-19 guidelines.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Newswatch Ole Miss. I am KYLEE DEDMON.
And I'm SCIONEAUX.
With Ole Miss virus cases rising like red solo cups in the Grove on game day, student celebrations and parties are becoming more increasingly dangerous and putting even more students at risk.
According to recent reports, Oxford, Mississippi has been listed in the top 5 for coronavirus cases. With that being said, students are still going out and partying every weekend. Ole Miss senior Jordan Browder says he just does not understand.
Just because it's so bad, I'm not doing it because I'm high risk because I got other health problems going on. That's so I ain't really doing nothing. I feel like folks can still link, you can kick it. I don't think you be having no crazy, big party or nothing, seeing how serious it is, like it's obviously real.
While students like Jordan are being very cautious during this coronavirus pandemic, other students like sophomore Darby Bridges had to deal with consequences of going out, even while things are at an all-time high.
My current feelings about corona, as I tested positive about a week ago. Me and a group of my friends went to a party the weekend prior and subsequently got corona. I think the feelings really are conviction, definitely conviction of, putting myself in that position, letting my friends put themselves in that position, and also going forward, not participating in events such as parties or get-togethers that are of a lot of people, and really educating other people on the importance of that too, because it's not fun. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, not even my worst enemy.
Hopefully, Darby's story will encourage people to be a little bit more cautious. But for now, coronavirus cases are still on the way up, and so are the parties. This has been Chauncey Taylor, Newswatch.
And ice those nostrils and eat your brain food because Ole Miss launched its first round of asymptomatic COVID-19 testing this week. Faculty, staff, and students will receive invitations for these tests weekly through October, which allows plenty of time for the Ole Miss community to make an appointment. After scheduling an appointment, all you have to do is drive to or walk to the Ford Center parking lot. Then you will receive your results on a phone app. Ole Miss hopes to use this testing in order to better serve the university's contract tracing team and State Department of Health.
And sticking with important virus information, Ole Miss currently has over 161 confirmed COVID-19 cases. While experiencing 18 different active campus outbreaks, 17 of those in on-campus housing. 20 people are currently isolating on campus, while 29 are quarantining on campus, according to the university dashboard yesterday. Wednesday, Lafayette County reported 337 active cases. The state reported 426 new cases on Wednesday. Protesters assembling Labor Day against officials' decision to leave the square's Confederate statue standing in front of the courthouse. Organizers of the Labor of Love rally made a public plea to remove the statue, in spite of county supervisors unanimously voting in July to keep the statue where it sits now. Even with months of protests and rallies, the Lafayette County's Board of Supervisors and Oxford's Board of Aldermen are currently evaluating who owns the property where the statue has sat since 1907.
As student positive cases continue to rise, more off-campus housing is needed to make sure students can properly isolate and quarantine. In response, some apartment complexes are making new rules to ensure their residents are stopping the spread.
With COVID-19 numbers rising in Oxford, off-campus student housing has changed quite a bit. Lafayette Place employee Jay Williams talks about how the pandemic is affecting them.
COVID, it has affected us tremendously. We have taken very great precautions to try to make sure every unit is clean, sanitized, make sure that when moving had happened, we make sure residents abide by our rules.
In compliance with Oxford's COVID-19 guidelines, Williams explains how they are taking prevention steps to keep residents safe.
We make sure daily we try to sanitize our whole amenity complex, make sure we use our biodegradable, everything that's really that's used that is effective to kill COVID, we make sure we use that every day and try to make sure our residents are safe and happy.
While keeping spaces clean is necessary, it takes more than that to prevent the spread. Williams explains their social distancing guidelines.
We try to keep at least 4 people at minimum in our clubhouse, and in our pool we try to at least we have a pool sign-in sheet, so we are monitoring how many people come to our pool. We're trying to keep the limit to 20.
Unfortunately, there is no way to 100% protect against the virus. In the case that a resident does contract it, the unit will have to isolate.
When we are notified, we try to keep them quarantined. They are good on themselves by keeping themselves quarantined, and we just try to make sure every resident, even if we do not know, we try to make sure every resident is protected.
Student housing communities are doing their job to protect against the virus, and residents must continue to as well. Dana Drake, Newswatch, Ole Miss.
As for on-campus housing, the Chancellor's office announced that students will be notified if they need a quarantine. For more information on this process, please visit olemiss.edu. The Student Success Workshops are back and will be held over Zoom to help follow COVID-19 protocols. Each workshop is designed to help teach students how to create their own learning tools. The techniques are used to show the reflection of the students' work for a more efficient learning process. Zoom links will be given out the day before the scheduled workshop for the first workshop taking place yesterday, September 10th. The next workshop will be happening on Wednesday, September 16th, so sign up now.
If you've already got your mind set on continuing education after undergrad, look no further than this. Fall virtual career fairs are being offered for Ole Miss students. September 15th, graduate law and professional school recruiters from Yale, Johns Hopkins, Northwestern, and Ole Miss will be involved. Then on September 17th, recruiters for engineering, manufacturing, and technology majors. Finally, all majors will be covered on October 6th. Students can register on Handshake for additional details. 31 years after his tragic injury, Ole Miss football legend Chucky Mullins continues to inspire. The Oxford Film Festival, which was disrupted by the virus this year, announced this week that it will donate nearly $9,000 to the university's Roy Lee Chucky Mullins Endowment Fund. This benefits students with disabilities. The donation will come from sponsorships and donated ticket sales for the canceled screening of It's Time, a film that follows Mullins' story of paralyzation, recovery, and death in 1991.
Well, the leaves are falling, but those temperatures are not following their lead.
I guess it just shows that Mississippi decides our weather, not the time of year. We will have more on that and what to expect outside once we return.
Hi, I'm Matthew Fry and welcome back to Newswatch. Tonight's forecast will be a high 70. It will be partly cloudy throughout the day and winds will be coming in through the northeast. There will be a 20% chance of rain. Moving on to tomorrow's forecast, it will be a high 88 degrees. Make sure to wear some shorts. Scattered thunderstorms will be rolling out throughout the day and winds will also be coming through the northeast. And there will also be a 60% chance of rain. The weekend look will have will be a little cloudy with scattered thunderstorms. Rain starts to clear up with partly cloudy skies throughout the day.
The Ole Miss football team has not been immune to the injury bug or the pandemic, as the team released that 27 players are out due to injury or COVID-19. The good news is that a familiar face will be rejoining the Rebel defense this season. I'll have that and more coming up next on sports, so stay tuned.
Why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others.
For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
The most wonderful time of the year is finally here. That's right, Ole Miss football is set to kick off in less than 3 weeks. Newswatch reporter Desmond Matthews caught up with a few students to see what they're most excited about for this year's college football season.
The Ole Miss football season is nearing, and students and fans are excited to get back in the vault and cheer the Rebels on this upcoming season.
I believe our football team will be pretty good this year. We have a good roster, and I think with everything going on in the pandemic, I think it'll push the boys to really play hard out there on the field.
Though the season is strictly SEC play due to the pandemic, fans and spectators are still excited and predict the Rebels will still do fairly well this season.
I feel like there's some actual excitement around the program this year, and I think 3 or 4 wins with the all-SEC schedule is a good expectation. Just excited and hope to be in there when they play Florida on the 26th.
Okay. Powell explains his excitement with the coaching staff changes.
Coaching staff, I love who he's brought in with Levy from UCF, and then the defense coordinator from Michigan, and the guy that used to be at Maryland. I really think they're going to do a very good job this year.
The Rebels are predicted to finish 12th in the SEC. Though that is not a good statistic, fans are still excited to see what this season brings. This is Des Matthews, Newswatch Ole Miss.
Head coach Lane Kiffin and the Rebels are set to hit the gridiron on September the 26th as they host the Florida Gators in the vault. And now more news on Rebel football. The sexual battery charge against senior Ole Miss linebacker Sam Williams has been dropped. Since the arrest in July, the Ole Miss senior had not been participating in team activities up until earlier this week. Here's what Coach Lane Kiffin had to say about his linebacker's first return to the field on Monday.
And so obviously he's got a ways to go, but you can see why. I mean, really that's our first time with him with no spring ball. So you can see flashes of why he's showed to be a really good player at times.
And with Williams making his return to the Ole Miss lineup, the Landshark defense will definitely be one to watch this season. And kicking things over to the pitch, the Lady Rebels soccer team announced its fall schedule for the 2020 season earlier today. The Lady Rebels are set to play an 8-match regular season with 4 games being at home and 4 games being on the road. Head coach Matt Mott and the Rebels will kick off their first game of the season on September the 19th as they host the Aggies of Texas A&M. After the 8-game regular season, the Lady Rebels will hit the road as they travel to Alabama for the 2020 SEC tournament. Now serving things up on the volleyball court, the Ole Miss volleyball team also released its 8-game schedule today for the 2020 fall season. The Lady Rebels are coming off of a 14-win season last year where they started off hot but ended the season on a dwindling 12-game losing streak. In this 8-game regular season, the Rebels will be taking on 4 different SEC teams in a home and away game format, those 4 teams being Texas A&M, Arkansas, LSU, and Missouri. Ole Miss volleyball will hit the court for their first game on October 22nd here in Oxford against the Aggies of Texas A&M. And finally, NFL football is back, and as of right now, it's here to stay for a while. Newswatch reporter Dana Drake caught up with a few students to hear what they had to say about the NFL season.
Students are excited to get this season underway. Football fanatic Cheney Arney is ready to watch her favorite sport back in action.
I'm super excited about football season. It's one of my favorite sports and favorite time of the year. And honestly, no matter the circumstances, I'm just ready for football.
While many want to see this season happen, Arney is aware that there are people out there that are going to be attacking the NFL for playing during this pandemic.
I think there's going to be a lot of he say, she say, and a lot of people that want to bash the NFL for playing or for having an audience, and there's going to be a lot of back and forth about things like that. I think that puts a lot of pressure on the players. Along with only having 25% of fans, Arney is concerned that since the NFL did not have a preseason, players will not be ready for the level of play. I know with the NFL, there's no preseason games, so nobody's really had any practice whatsoever, and it's just kind of been a really weird time, so I feel like at first it's going to be very, very different. I think everybody's not going to do good. I think everybody's got to get in the groove first. How this season may play out is still in question and is tentative to change based on conditions with the COVID-19 pandemic. Ole Miss student Jake King is staying positive about this season.
I think hopefully everything can work out and we can have a good fun season. But obviously with COVID, I'm not too sure if they're going to finish the season. So, I hope for the best. I hope everything's going to go well.
And now that the 2020 NFL season has kicked off, there are still many unanswered questions. But for now, one thing is certain. Football is back. Well, that's all I've got for sports. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Newswatch_UM for more of your latest sports updates. Kylie, Mason, back to you.
The falling leaves aren't the only thing bringing some color to Oxford.
Yes, Kylie, one local artist used a little paint and a lot of talent to brighten up the community. That when we return.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Oxford artist and Ole Miss student Victoria Daly painted her first outdoor mural last month. Daly worked alongside the owners of Oxford Canteen to create a vision inspired by one of their honeycomb tattoos.
The student artist chose to paint this mural because of bees, honeycomb, and flowers in order to add some color to the side of the restaurant's gray building. Daly finished the mural on August 21st.
Well, that's all for we have tonight, but make sure to tune in next Friday. I'm KYLEE DEDMON.
And don't forget to follow us on social media. You can catch us on our Facebook live stream, the Ole Miss Cable Network, or on HottyToddy.com. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend. I'm Mason SCIONEAUX, and we'll see you next time.